Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, the activities of the Prachetas. Text number 7 onwards. So the Lord has gone to meet the Prachetas who were doing tapasya underwater for 10,000 years. Pina yatashta bhujmandalam madhya lakshmya spardachvya parivrito vanamalayadyaha barhishmatah purush ahasutan prapannan parjanyanad rutaya sagrinavalokaha. Around the neck of the personality of Godhead hung a flower garland that reached to his knees. His 8 stout and elongated arms were decorated with that garland. The sons of King Prachin Barhishat who were very much surrendered unto him. The word Adya in this verse is very significant. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the origin even of Paramatma and Brahman. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmana hi pratishtama. The absolute truth begins not with the impersonal Brahman, but with the original personality of Godhead, Krishna. When Arjuna realized Krishna's greatness, he addressed him in this way. You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the Supreme Abode and Purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primeval Lord, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. Brahma Samhita also says, Anadir Govinda Sarva Karana. The Supreme Lord is not caused by anything. He is Anadi, but he is the cause of all causes. The Vedanta Sutra says, Janmadya Seyata. The absolute truth is that from which everything emanates. The absolute truth is described as Adi Purush. The absolute truth is therefore a person and is not impersonal. So that Supreme Person, his beauty is described in few verses, and now he is speaking to the sons of King Prachin Barhishat. Shri Bhagwan Vacha Varam Vrinigvam Bhadram Boyuyam Me Nripanandana Soharden Dena Prithag Dharma Stushto Aham Sohrden Vaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear sons of the King, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with the mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me. See, this thing is significant here. Lord says, I'm pleased by the friendly relationships among you. So they all were doing tapasya. They all were doing tapasya under the guidance of Lord Shiva and to please Lord Vishnu, following the instructions of their own father. But their friendly relationships, that's what pleased Lord Vishnu. So for all devotees, this is what pleases the Lord. When we all are doing our tapasyas, we all are doing our chanting and services, and whatever Vedic Bhakti processes we are following, howsoever. But the thing that is going to please him is the relationship, is a cooperation amongst the devotees. Not that we can think, oh, I alone can please him and get all the mercy and to hell with others. That's not how it's going to work. Since the sons of King Prachin Barhishat were all united in Krishna consciousness, the Lord was very pleased with them. Each and every one of the sons of King Prachin Barhishat was an individual soul but they were united in offering transcendental service to the Lord. The unity of the individual souls attempting to satisfy the Supreme Lord or rendering service to the Lord is real unity. In the material world, such unity is not possible. Even though people may officially unite, they all have different interests. In the United Nations, for instance, all the nations have their particular national ambitions, and consequently, they cannot be united. Disunity between individual souls is so strong within this material world that even in a society of Krishna consciousness, members sometimes appear disunited due to their having different opinions and leaning towards material things. So Prabhupada says, disunity between individual souls is so strong within this material world that even in a society of Krishna consciousness, where everything should be united, everything should be cordial, but it's not. Members sometimes appear disunited due to their having different opinions and leaning towards material things. Actually, in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be two opinions. There is only one goal, to serve Krishna to one's best ability. If there is some disagreement over service, such disagreement is to be taken as spiritual. Those who are actually engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be disunited in any circumstance. This makes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very happy and willing to award all kinds of benedictions to his devotees. As indicated in this verse, we can see that the Lord is immediately prepared to award all benedictions to the sons of King Prachim Parishad. So Prabhupada made many, many important points there. In the material world, there are differences. Definitely there are. And disunity is there. But in the service of Krishna, there can be disagreement over service. Just like in Hindi it is said, there could be mat bhed, but not man bhed. Ideas could be different, but the aim should be only one, to please Krishna. Now, when we hold grudges against each other, of course, every devotee's point is to serve Krishna. The goal of life is to serve Krishna. But we all have material consciousness. So that's when the problems happen. In the spiritual world also, there are differences. It's not that everybody just thinks the same way. For example, when Krishna Balram, they have to take the cows out for grazing. Now Yashoda Maya and Nand Baba are trying to stop them. No, don't go. It's too hard, and the path is so rocky, and you'll be gone whole day. And Krishna's boyfriends, they want him to come. They want to play with him. Gopis also want him to come. Now, what is that the Krishna is going to do? Or what is it that he does? Yashoda Maya also loves him. Sakhas also love him. Gopis also love him. But the whole purpose is to give pleasure to Krishna. Yashoda Maya is also trying to please him, and Gopi is also trying to please him. So then it is up to Krishna what to do at that given time. But in our case, what happens is we think, we speculate, oh, this is what Krishna wants. We don't know. We are not at that level. So what is it that is going to please Krishna? He's going to be pleased by how we cooperate with each other. Cooperate doesn't mean that I say something and everybody else has to cooperate. Everybody else has to follow it. whether they like it or not. That is autocracy. That's not cooperation. Cooperation is when we all agree to something. It doesn't take too long to agree to something. Everybody agrees and then we do it. And everybody will be happy if we do it that way. Sometimes somebody has to take leadership. That's a different story. But even in, you'll be surprised, even in the materialistic society. I was reading some leadership or management courses, and it is said the best leadership is not autocratic, it's not democratic, it's not, there's so many kinds, functional and this or that, transactional, this or that. Best leadership, it is said, is servant leader. It's in the material world also. They're understanding it, or they're acknowledging the importance of servant leader. So servant leader, what does he do? He doesn't keep himself on the top. He's there just to support the group. He's there to facilitate the group. He doesn't force the group in one way or the other. The group decides. He just helps them get together. That's all. Even the karmis are acknowledging that. And gone are the days when you give the order like Hitler or some other autocrats and everybody has to follow. Not in the business circles. So this is what pleases Krishna. And here Prabhupada is saying, this makes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very happy and willing to award all kinds of benediction to his devotees, as indicated in this verse. Yo anusmarati sandhyayam yushman anudinam naraha tasya bhratrishvatma samyam tatha bhuteshu sohridam. The Lord continued, those who remember you every evening of every day will become friendly with their brothers and with all other living entities. I think we should print this quote and paste it on the walls in front of us. The Lord is saying, those who remember you every evening of every day, oh Prachetas, you are so together, then every day will become friendly with their brothers and with all other living entities. So easy way to sort out differences between brothers. Yetu mam rudragitena sayam prata samahitaha stuvanti aham kamran dasya pragyam cha shobhanam. Those who will offer me the prayers composed by Lord Shiva, both in the morning and in the evening, will be given the benedictions by me. In this way, they can both fulfill their desires and attain good intelligence. So this is how powerful the prayers composed by Lord Shiva is, and how to offer them by cooperatively. When we offer them, when we deal with each other, that's what pleases the Lord. Good intelligence means going back home, back to Godhead. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, to those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. One who offers prayers to the Lord to fulfill his different desires must know that the highest perfectional fulfillment of desire is to go back home, back to Godhead. In this verse, it is indicated that those who remember the activities of the Prachetas, the sons of King Prachin Bharishat, will be delivered and blessed. So what to speak of the sons of King Prachin Bharishat, who are directly connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So those who remember the activities of Prachetas, they'll be delivered and blessed. What to speak of Prachetas themselves? This is the way of the Parampara system. If we follow the Acharyas, we attain the same benefit as our predecessors. If one follows the decisions of Arjuna, he should be considered to be hearing directly Bhagavad Gita from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no difference between hearing Bhagavad Gita directly from the Supreme Lord and following a personality like Arjuna, who have formerly heard Bhagavad Gita directly from the Lord. Sometimes foolish people argue that since Krishna is not present at the moment, one cannot take direct instructions from him. Such foolish people do not know that there is no difference between directly hearing Bhagavad Gita and reading it, as long as one accepts Bhagavad Gita as it is spoken by the Lord. However, if one wants to understand Bhagavad Gita by his imperfect interpretations, one cannot possibly understand the mysteries of Bhagavad Gita, even though one may be a great scholar according to mundane estimation. And this is Krishna's arrangement. Today is Gita Jayanti Day, and Prabhupada is speaking about Bhagavad Gita in one of his purports that we are studying. So very important, Prabhupada is saying that if we read Bhagavad Gita in the proper disciplic succession, then it is as good as hearing Bhagavad Gita directly from Krishna. There is no difference. Just like the Prachetas, they heard it from Lord Shiva and they followed, and anybody who even just remembers the activities, they will also get the benedictions. So this is the parampara system. This is the disciplic succession. Yadyuyam pituradesham agrihishti mudanvitaha athova ushati kirtir lokan anu bhavishyati. Because you have with pleasure accepted within your hearts the orders of your father and have executed those orders very faithfully, your attractive qualities will be celebrated all over the world. Since every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has small independence. Sometimes unintelligent men ask why one is put into a miserable condition even though everyone is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of his minute independence, the living entity can obey or disobey the orders of the Supreme Lord. If he obeys the Supreme Lord's orders, he becomes happy. If he doesn't, he becomes unhappy. Therefore, the living entity creates his own happiness or unhappiness. The Supreme Lord does not enforce these on anyone. The Supreme Lord praised the Prachetas because they all faithfully obeyed the orders of their father. The Lord therefore blessed the sons of King Prachin Barhisha because they obeyed their father's orders. And their father, at that time, he was a complete karmic person, ritualist, following the rules, following the rituals mentioned in the Vedas, not even a devotee, outwardly. So we also have to understand that if our parents or any family members, they are not performing devotional service as we know of, or as we call it, it doesn't mean they're not devotees. Or following their orders will take us away from Krishna, and this is the only time I can perform my devotional service, otherwise whatever hell is going to break loose or something like that. No. We just have to become stronger and stronger, and Krishna will make all the arrangements. Definitely, he'll make all the arrangements. And sometimes if parents are giving orders which we think they're not beneficial for me or devotionally or whatever way, as long as we don't have to break the regulative principles, it's okay, we try to follow the orders. Because if we have taken up devotional service in this lifetime, means our parents, they must be devotees. Otherwise, a devotee cannot take birth just like that. So they must be devotees. We don't know anything what has happened in the previous lifetime. And then we continue following instructions, orders, and Krishna will. And at the same time, obviously, I'm not saying give up devotion service. Then Krishna will make all the arrangements. Do not worry. Bhavita Vishuta Putro Anvamo Brahmano Gune Sa Eta Ya Etamatma Virena Trilokim Puri Yashuti. You will have a nice son who will in no way inferior to Lord Brahma. Consequently, he will be very famous all over the universe, and the sons and grandsons generated by him will fill the three worlds. So see, after doing so much of tapasya, the idea behind sending them for tapasya was that they should become good progenitors. They should become Prajapati and help in filling up the earth with living entities. So now the Lord, although the Prachetas haven't asked anything, the Lord is himself giving benediction that you will have a very nice son. You'll be surprised who this son is. I don't want to break the suspense right now. As explained in the next verse, the Prachetas will marry the daughter of the great sage Kandu. It is suggested that the son's name will be Vishuta, and he will glorify both his father and mother because of his good character. In fact, he would be greater than Lord Brahma. The great politician Chanakya said that if there is a good tree within a garden or forest, its flowers will fill the forest with their fragrance. Similarly, a good son within a family makes the whole family famous all over the world. Krishna took birth in the family of the Yadus, and consequently, the Yadu dynasty is famous all over the world. Now, about Rishi Kandu and her great sage Kandu and his daughter. What about that? Who's that? Kandu Pramalochya Labdha Kanya Kamalalochana Tam Chapa Vidham Jagruhur Bhururaha Nripanandana. O sons of King Prachin Barhisha, the heavenly society girl named Pramalocha kept the lotus-eyed daughter of Kandu in the care of the forest trees. Then she went back to the heavenly planet. This daughter was born by the coupling of the Apsara named Pramlocha and the sage Kandu Rishi. Whenever a great sage undergoes severe austerities for material power, the king of heaven, Indra, becomes very envious. All the demigods have responsible posts for the management of universal affairs and are very highly qualified with pious activities. Although they are ordinary living entities, means they are Jiv-tattva, they are able to attain responsible posts like Lord Brahma, Indra, Chandra, and Varuna. As is the nature of this material world, the king of heaven, Indra, is very anxious if a great sage undergoes severe austerities. The whole material world is filled with such envy that everyone becomes afraid of his neighbors. Every businessman is afraid of his associates because this material world is a field of activities for all kinds of envious people who have come here to compete with the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, Indra was very much afraid of the severe austerities performed by the great sage Kandu, and he sent Pramlocha to break his vows and austerities. A similar incident took place in the case of Vishwamitra. From other incidents in the Shastras, it appears that Indra has always been envious. Although he's a great devotee, he is a leader of all the demigods, but he's just envious because he's anxious to save his position. When King Prithu was celebrating various sacrifices, outdoing Indra, Indra became very envious and he disturbed King Prithu's sacrifice. This has already been discussed in the previous chapters. So we saw how Indra tried to stop the 100th sacrifice of King Prithu, and then Brahmaji appeared, Vishnuji appeared, and everybody gave blessings to Prithu Maharaj. He said, don't worry, without doing a 100 sacrifice, you already have received all the benedictions. King Indra became successful in breaking the vow of the great sage Kandu, and who became attracted by the beauty of the heavenly society girl Pramalocha and begot a female child. This child is described here as lotus-eyed and was very beautiful. Being thus successful in her mission, Pramalocha returned to the heavenly planets, leaving the newborn child to the care of the trees. Fortunately, the trees accepted the child and agreed to raise her. So this was to happen. Pramalocha came and she just enticed Kandu Rishi, and with the union they begot a child. And Pramalocha said, well, I'm from heaven, I'm not supposed to have children, and I'm not going to stay here taking care of this girl. So she just left, leaving the child in the care of the trees. Similar story happened in Ramayana also. Rishi Shringa, who was born, again his father, I'm forgetting his name, and the father, again he was doing tapasya, he was enticed by one of these apsaras, and she came and they had union, and then she was going to leave, and Rishi Shringa was a little baby boy. Oh, actually what she did, she took the semen and put in the womb of a lady deer, and this boy was born with the ears of a deer, and he was very beautiful, Rishi Shringa. But then she was going to leave, and then the boy held on to her sari. The mother, where are you going? Who will feed me? And his father was watching all this. But she said, no, we are heavenly girls. We cannot stay here. So I'm leaving. And the father, I'm just thinking it's Vibandhaka, if I'm not wrong, Vibandhak. He got so angry with the ladies. He said, they're not to be trusted at all. And he said, okay, I'll take care of my son. But he made the whole ashram in such a way that not even any female species of trees would be able to stay there. Forget about it. No female insects, animals, birds, human beings, no female species. He said, forget it, I don't want to have anything to do with female, and I don't want to have my son to do anything with the females. That's a long story, but later on his son married the sister of Lord Ram, Shanta. Long story. But here also, so Indra, this is what he does. But in a way, he also tries, through Maya, he tries to test the purity or the determination of these sages. So Kandu Rishi is a great sage, did so much of tapasya, but yes, he got distracted. But again, he'll perform his tapasya again, just like Vishwamitra Muni also did. So these attractions can always be there. So even if somebody gets attracted, but he can still continue, carry on with his bhakti. That is more important. These tests will always be there. Maya will send these tests. Whether through Indra or through somebody else, hardly matters. The tests will always be there. Always. They are just like unit tests or final exams of different grades. So we carry on to next grade and next grade and next grade. And that's how we make advancement. Okay, so wonderful story going on, but we'll continue from tomorrow. Let's see if anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
I don't have any question, but can you please share this background, because I joined late and I didn't want to ask in between. So please
Sure,
share
I'll
this
post.
picture
I'll post it.
in the background, please.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mata.
Prabhuji, this story from Ramayana, which you were just abhi yahan bata rahe the, this is from Valmiki Ramayana, or because Tulsidas Ramayana does not have the story. I remember. I don't know whether Prabhuji knows about it or no. Because
I don't know about
ज़्यादा idea hai.
I don't know about Ramcharitmanas, but this is what I have studied in Ramayana.
Okay, it's in
From
Valmiki
Ramayana.
Ramayana. Okay, okay.
Should be
That's
there.
what I wanted. Thank you, Prabhuji.
You're welcome. It's a beautiful story, actually. Actually,
I haven't
what
got a chance.
happens now you started it. So, because Dashath was not having any son, and he was told that if Rishashringa comes out and performs the yajna, then he will have the son. So far, he had the daughter, Shanta. And Shanta was taken by King Romapad, who was friend of Darshat. And he said, I'll raise this daughter as my daughter. But Romapad Maharaj had done some kind of offense to a Brahman. The Brahmins had cursed him that your kingdom will not have any rain. So then there was no rain, it was drought, and the forest animals were coming and eating all the men, all the population, and there was so much a problem. So then he was told that if such a pure Brahman comes, and as soon as he steps on puts his foot on your kingdom, rains will appear. The only pure Brahman they could think of was Rishashringa. But it was very hard to get Rishashringa out because Vibhandak would not let Rishashringa get out of ashram. So now how to get him out? So they devised a plan that Vibhandak was doing his whatever tapasya, and then in the ashram, some sadhus came and they said, oh, one of our sadhus is being eaten by a tiger. Please come and help him. So Vibhandak ran. He said, oh, this is an emergency. So meanwhile, Romapad Maharaj had sent some ladies from the kingdom to entice Rishashringa and bring him out. And the king, these ladies took the form of sages. And they went in a nice boat, and Rishashringa had never seen such kind of sages. He was, I mean, it was said in a funny way. He was massaging them, and he was like, what different kind of sages are these? I've never seen. So they said, and then they were leaving, and then they said, oh, we have a nice ashram. Would you like to come? And Rishashringa was really attracted. And he said, yeah, let me go see your ashram. He was a very innocent boy. He'd never been in touch with anybody. So they took him to this kingdom of Romapad Maharaj. And as soon as he got down from the boat and he touched, and the rains came, and now everybody was happy, but they were afraid. When Vibhandak finds out, he's going to curse, and we're going to get the Brahman curse again. So now Rishashringa, so then Romapad Maharaj approached him, and he offered him that you get married to Shanta. And he gave his kingdom also to Rishashringa. So Vibhandak, when he found out, well, then he could not do anything because he was already married and he was the king of the kingdom. And then later Rishashringa goes to Ayodhya and he performs this yagya, where the Lord appears with that pot of kheer, and then Lord Ram appears later on. So many things go on in the world.
Yeah.
Of course, it's all Lord Ram's pastimes, how he wants to appear.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Prabhuji.
You're welcome.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. You all have a wonderful and safe Gita Jayanti, Ekadashi,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
and Hare Krishna. And whatever program Dipanshu Prabhu is organizing for Aditya
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. We'll have the Gita reading session, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Great. What time? 10 o'clock?
We should start now, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sorry, I haven't
10
seen
to 2.
10 to 2, is it? Dipanshu Prabhuji, I haven't read the messages though.
Yes, Prabhuji. 10 to
Yeah,
2.
I think there
That
was,
is place.
it was 10 o'clock. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I haven't read the messages yet. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you all very much. Have a wonderful and safe day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare
Ram.
Okay, thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you.